I'm Danielle Jolliday from Saturdays, and you're watching Disney Channel. Okay. I did pretty good for my first time.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Stop. Oh my God, make it stop. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That felt good. That felt good. My eyes were fucking hurting after all that shit. Oh my hot damn. Months from now, even years from now, I'm gonna be looking back on that and just be saying what I always say when it comes I see stuff like that. I'm starting to laugh again just thinking about it. That shit will never not be funny. And while it's fresh on my mind, I want to talk about the Earnhardt Dillon installment of Saturdays on Disney Channel. As I'm recording this, it's April Fool's Day, and which I'm having an April Fool's special come out sometime technically later in the day, or in my book tomorrow, the next day when I wake up in daylight, and the fucking tagging glitch got me again. So Peyton, Danielle, Daria, if you guys don't see my shit on Instagram right away, then on my page, you'll know why. Because Instagram's being fucking stupid again like it was 2 goddamn years ago. And maybe even 2 to 3 goddamn years ago. Okay. We're going to go over one episode at a time for this show from now on. So it'll be when it's like, that's just like how we're doing with Not Dead Yet. Instead of watching that in real time on ABC, we're going to wait till like it goes on Hulu so we can keep it fresh in our mind, because I'm not doing 3 ABC Wednesday night shows piled on top of each other, because that's just too much. Because it just means I'll have to go over the Goldbergs, and then, you know, we'll fresh on my mind, and then have a nice gap. And then if I try It's Not Dead Yet in real time, then I have to process a million little things, and then Not Dead Yet goes out the fucking window. So therefore, I did that the one time, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. That's a one-time thing. But that's a conversation we're saving for later in the weekend, going into early next week. So, all right, the Dale Sr. Austin Dillon installment. I already knew that Ari, Simone in Paris was gonna fuck up the whole fuck up the whole, packaging the cookies project like Fabrizio goddamn Uberto. And after, Paris convinced, Deb and Cal to like let her 2 best friends work with her, and they were not the bosses. Like, shockingly, Deb and Cal were not the bosses. Shockingly, they put Paris as the boss, And little did I know that I knew from the get-go, I just chose not to say anything, that they were gonna fuck it up like Fabrizio. Here we go again. I'm just thinking of the laughing, just getting ready to talk about it. And they were doing pretty good until they got too carried away. Ari was taking the job Paris was taking the job seriously, but Ari and Simone were not. So they decided to put the sprinkles on it, which is not what you were supposed to fucking do. And then, who fed who? I'm trying to remember who fed who. But then they started fucking eating the cookie. Like, who fed who first? But then they started fucking eating the goddamn cookies. And they just made a whole fucking mess and tore that shit up like Terry Labonte. And then when they got home, Deb and Cal got home from the movies. When they got home from the movie, they turned on the light. You think Deb's reaction was priceless and funny? Because Cal wasn't paying attention at first. He was too busy digging through the movie purse like Dick Trickle. And so we saw the first half of the mess. But when Cal finally paid attention, saw what was going on, his facial expression, as you saw in the opening cutscene, oh my God. I just fucking died. I just fucking died and lost it when I saw that. I had to stop it right there, and I had to get a video and send it to you guys, because that shit was fucking hilarious. Almost having a laugh attack all over again just talking about it. Like, holy fucking shit. And then our Paris did the responsible thing and cleaned it up and apologized. And Deb understood, and Cal kind of understood. Like you think they were gonna get a second chance, right? And the thing is, when Ari, why do I want to keep calling no, Paris. I had it right the first time. Why do I keep wanting to call Paris Ari and Ari Paris? Why the fuck am I getting those two confused? But I love them both anyway, along with Simone. But okay, so when Paris said it'll never happen again, thinking that Deb and Cal were gonna let her have him work for them again. Cal got all smart. Well, he was a serious manner. He really meant this. He got all smart mouth and said, we know it will never happen again because your ass is gonna fucking fire the fuck. Well, we know it'll never happen again because your ass is gonna fucking fire him right out the goddamn door. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but that's how he meant it. And so when she went to fire him, she made some shit up like Jamie McMurray, and she did it for good reason. And her parents never found out about the lie. But she didn't want to hurt their feelings, which goes to show she's a good friend, and that's true friendship and ultimate friendship, best friend goals right there, whether it's real life or TV. Or even movies and video games, with video game storylines where you have to play the game to put together the whole storyline like a Crash Bandicoot or something. Crash 1, 2, and 3 from Naughty Dog on PS1. Because yes, I'm that old. For those of you younger people on the show, I'm a 90s baby born in 1994. I'm Kevin Harvick, 29 years old. So we'll be Jeff Green 30 next year, and Robbie Gordon 31 the year after. All the Childress cars after Dale Sr. was killed and Mike Skinner and Lowe's left. So yeah. So therefore, they made the deliveries, and it was all fun and games, right? Until they gave the wrong fucking cupcakes to the poor people having the baby and the fucking nursing home. They had the one meant for the nursing home with the people who are supposed to, who are having the baby, who are but finding out whether having a boy or a girl, and they gave the one meant for the pregnant couple to the retirement home. I thought Cal and Deb were gonna be even more mad, especially Cal. Oh my god, he's a living la vida loco motherfucker, like Ricky Martin, written by Robbie Draco Rosa and Desmond Child, but in a good way, because Omar Gooding is funny as fuck. Oh my god, and turns out that despite Cal admitted, even though they fucked up, they still loved them nonetheless, and they did all this good stuff to help the Paris and her family, with whatever they needed with the money and shit, and even with Cal and Deb, grounding her in a room for a temporary amount of time in the day, they were nice enough to let Ari and Simone, visit her in her room for 15 minutes. They wanted for Michael Waltrip. They wanted Tony Stewart. 20 minutes, but Cal of course said no, because that was like something my dad would do in a situation like that if I was their age if I was their age now, if my life phases, were reversed, where I was for example, or if my life started a lot later, where I was a kid now, but like the kid version of me from Lenore was here now, but then the adult version of me that you're seeing now doesn't show up till like many years down the road. Like, say if my life started a lot sooner, way later than 94, not sooner, later. What the fuck? So therefore, they talked it out like real girls and women, and they were all on the same page again, and even with the fuck up, I mean, they still got their jackets, and of course, Cal needs to work on his Portuguese. I can sing Ricky Martin in Portuguese. I don't know if the video will make it this far on TikTok or even Instagram, but I'll sing a few bars. Ela é uma mulher especial, ser gigante de outro planeta. Ela é a super fine fatta che ci amano entera. Así es María, linda fortuna, un veneno dosita costoso que se toma. Así es María, sai na fantasia, que se você bebe de força muito te matar. Uepa! Dois, três. Passinho pra frente, Maria. Dois, três. Passinho pra trás. Eu te quero, Maria, pra frente, Maria. Maria, eu quero te amar. Passinho pra trás. Yeah, I kind of screwed up with the ayoda because I'm thinking about the Spanish version where it says "Ayer bueno." That's written by Ricky Martin's song from the album Medio VV 1995, written by Robbie Draco Rosa and Casey Porter. The only one of three Ricky Martin's biggest hits of all time that was not co-written by Desmond Child, like "Cup of Life" and "La Vida Loca." There you have it. I can sing Portuguese, Omar Gooding. I can sing Portuguese with Ricky Martin, or his full name would say Enrique Martin Morales. Now the subplot with Derek and London. So London was hooked. This is like real life hookups with my friends from this recent part of my life. During the Ridgeville Sandy Ridge phase, both during pre-pandemic and current. New era. The new era we call the pandemic, COVID era, which even though it's not that big of a factor no more, like it was 3 years ago, and a little bit of the year after until the vaccines came, but. Yeah, so London, as the good best friend he is to Derek, was playing matchmaker for him, Oh, yeah, and we have a new life lesson that we're going to put at the end of our videos. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I mean, it doesn't really have any meaning. That just, it's just a life lesson you can think about every once in a while. It depends on the situation that comes up in your life that you're put in. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. So I have it in my notes on my phone, so we're all set like Jimmy Johnson when it comes to that. So therefore, yeah, so he tried to go get her go get his, yep, he's just like me. He thinks like me. Derek thinks like me when it comes to my friends in relationships or whenever I'm in a relationship. That's his wife, and Timmy and, what was London's character action? Jermaine. Timmy and Jermaine, another Disney show on Disney XD in 2015, 16, and 17, Living La Vida Labyrinth with the great Kelly Berglund started that shit for me. So he was already calling her, Justice his wife. And when he tried to run out there on the brink with those nasty ass shoes, I don't know if skates ratings do this in real life, but the alarm went off and everybody from the rink froze, and Duchess came and kicked his ass out. Like, get your dirty ass shoes off my fucking rink, you son of a bitch, and just knocked his ass. I mean, she didn't say it like that, but that's how she meant it. She takes her rink very seriously. And so London was doing all he can to help Derek, and he wasn't taking it seriously in the beginning because he was thinking about food. It's like, how could you think of food at a time like this? And London was getting really, really fucking pissed, and I don't blame him. And he just walked out. And then when he saw Justice, going, in arm in arm with another guy, which obviously we'll get to that in a little bit, which obviously had no meaning, which we're going to get to in a little bit. He thought he remembered, London's, advice. There is no tomorrow. And guess what? If there is no tomorrow, the tomorrow better be the current day you're in. So that's when Derek, why do I keep wanting to say the actors' names and some of these reviews instead of the character's name? Like, Jesus Christ. Derek went to London, said, there's no tomorrow. Well, tonight's my tomorrow. I'm fucking ready to goddamn learn, how to pimp it up like Richard Dawson. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but that's how he meant it. And of course, London agreed. And I know it looked like he was failing because he was falling down like Dale Jarrett and drinking a nasty ass egg yolk, but it all paid off. And here's the good where her whole just hanging around another guy meant nothing. When Derek went to go on the skating rink to go chase her down, he just lost control, took a nasty spill, fell down like Dale Jarrett, hit the floor like Michael McDonald. Just when you think all hope was lost, here comes Justice to actually, fool us, saying, "Are you okay?" And then of course Derek was automatically okay, like the minor injury healed itself magically because his love interest was there, and that's what made the Earnhardt Dillon installment of Saturdays on Disney Channel. So we still got the Mike Skinner installment. So therefore, oh my god, that this is the second Disney show that's given me a laugh attack on camera. Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion at the beginning of this year when we finished out the first and only season, and now this. But I need to take a fucking chill pill. Let's move on to the Mike Skinner installment, shall we?
Hey, we're from the cast of Saturdays, and you're watching Disney Channel. Oh, yeah. Elsa,
You. Now, 3 things you can count on.
Go on. Keep unpacking.
The week's gonna drag. Saturday's gonna go on. And skaters gonna skate.
Don't worry, y'all.
I got the hookup.
Everybody on the way, it's Saturday.
I'm living my best life.
All we do is celebrate. It's all your fun, family, and friends. I got everything that I need. Saturdays, another new episode next on Disney Channel.
You're welcome.
You want to talk about a Disney Channel comedy doubleheader for a Friday night about on a show with the title of Jesus fucking Christ. You want to talk about a Disney Channel Friday night comedy doubleheader on a show that has the day after Saturday in the title? How about the Earnhardt Dillon through Skinner installments of Saturdays on Disney Channel? Oh shit. Okay. This son of a bitch here, but okay, that's beside the point. I could not stop laughing at this one tonight. Holy fucking shit! If you thought the first one was that funny, the Earnhardt Dillon installment was that funny. Yep, Earnhardt Senior. That's the number 3 GM Goodwin Service Plus Chevrolet Monte Carlo for registered racing, not his son Junior, the 8 Budweiser Chevrolet Monte Carlo for his dad's Dale Earnhardt Incorporated own team, but. We're going to get to the Dale Jr. installment later in the season, but oh my God, this one was just as funny. The meme wars, Ivan's, nightmare come to life, come to life. And, Sonia Little and all those groups, all those fucking people, Ari, Simone, and, oh my God, they're gonna fucking kill me for getting them. Ari, Simone, and oh my God, what the fuck? Ari, Simone, and Paris. Okay, don't fucking kill me, guys. Ari, Simone, and Paris. Those girls that normally Ari, Simone, and Paris are friends with were turning against each other because of Ivan's fucking stupidity, and then they had to come together to end this because Duchess was getting all fed up. She was getting more than fed up. She was livid la vida loca, like Ricky Martin, written by Robbie Draco Rosa and Desmond Child. Man, she was not fucking around tonight. First, Derek's nasty ass shoes on the rink, and then this. I mean, she didn't give a shit about the meme wars, but then she drew see this line on the moving box? She drew this orange son of a bitch, or whatever the fuck color she drew it, where she became the meme, and she threatened them if they didn't cut the shit and tone it down a lot, not a little bit, a lot, that their heads were gonna get shrunk along with the other skaters in history that have dissed her over the years that came before them. And of course, Perry was playing us, being funny, Eric Kilpatrick seems like a funny dude in real life too. I mean, he was trying to trick Ivan into like, saying that Duchess gave the girls the boot and all this other shit, and saying that he was getting lightheaded and passing out. But he actually tricked him into going out there, and we'll get to the fucking subplot later where Cal was living in the past. We'll get to that fucking. We'll get to that. We'll get to that shit. We'll get to that. Oh, what the fuck? I can't fucking talk. Oh my god. We'll fucking get to that shit later. So when Ivan walked out there, I mean, Sonya Little, and is Sonya Little really gonna be a bad character? If so, I'm gonna be on that train of supporting a bad character based on who plays her, and it won't be. It's not the first. It wouldn't be the first time. Sure as hell won't be the last either. But I'll be surprised if she turns out to fool me in later episodes. And I wonder how they're gonna make Roxy. If they're gonna make her nice, or they're gonna make her mean, or a complete asshole. I mean, not that I don't have nothing against Samantha Smith in real life. I love her, but we just don't know because she hasn't showed up yet. She might show up next week for the Texas Terry Mark Martin installments. So when we do the doubleheader. But yeah, Sonya Little was being a complete jackass tonight. But I think she was unwillingly, because Iris, I wish Sophie Ackerman had social media, because I could tell her that her character was named after one of my song nicknames. And while we're going on about Earnhardt, and if you guys see this video and want to show this to Sophie, her character was nicknamed after a song that's nicknamed after this guy, the Intimidator, Ralph Dale Earnhardt Sr., where I call Iris by the Google Dolls the Dale Earnhardt song. The Dale Earnhardt song. That's one of my quirks about me. That's why I have song nicknames. This is 85 to 90% clogged up of old school NASCAR drivers like Earnhardt Sr., and even his son Junior, that either no longer race in the Winston Cup Series or are no longer living on Earth. Like, that's what, like, the NASCAR taglines, like, to tear it up like Terry Labonte and all this other shit I say. Most of it's clogged up with NASCAR drivers that are from my day as a child, which we're going to get to something related to this later. Like I said, drivers that no longer race or no longer are on Earth, are living on Earth, they're up with the Lord. So, therefore, when Ivan got to put the cones out there, it was a trick by Perry to get the lights to shut off. Here, Perry didn't touch anything. He was just, trying to set him up like Jimmy Johnson. See, another NASCAR that he did come back, but it's not the same Jimmy that was once winning all the time in the mid to late 2000s, early to mid 2010s in the 48 Lowe's Monte Carlo. It wasn't Monte Carlo the whole time, but you know what I mean, because, everything has to change to evolve the time. Like, one more time, I sound like a broken record, but we're going to get to that shit fucking later. So, when Ivan got out there in the rink, the dirty ass shoes alarm didn't go off for this one time because they probably staged it for a different occasion. That's when all the girls, including Sonya Little, Ari, Simone, and Paris all got together in these scary ass skeleton costumes and taunted him and just teach him a lesson, like warned him like Ward Burton not to do that shit again. And like they actually were gonna post it to like get payback on him. Payback is a bitch, or as I like to say, payback is a puto. In this case, Ivan was being the puto. Unless the only reason why Sonya Little was being the puta, because it was not her. She was not being a puta by choice. It was fucking Ivan, the dipshit pendejo's fault. So, therefore, they said when he confessed and said it was all meant to be all fun and games, I didn't mean anything by it. I'm sorry about this. And then I think it was Paris is the one who gave her hit. Simone, Ivan and if Simone might have a crush on each other, I think they might have a little something for each other. And I don't think Ivan wanted to lose Simone. And I don't know how far this is going to go between the two. But then Paris warned him like Ward Burton, you fucking do this shit again, and we're another one. How the fuck did she say it? I mean, the way I'm about to say it, she didn't say it like this, but this is how she meant it. If you ever fucking do this shit again, we're gonna. Okay, let's try this. So again, she doesn't say it like this, but this is how she means it. If you fucking do that shit again, we're gonna do something. We're all gonna do something your ass ain't gonna like the same way you did to us. Paris didn't say it like that, but that's how she meant it. She was steaming just as much as Duchess was in the beginning. And that was a lesson learned by Ivan today. Now for the subplot of living in the past with Cal. So you know how you guys know I like NASCAR, but here's the difference though between when he was racing when he was killed in '01. That was because that's why Bill Elliott was not the most popular driver like he was all those years. That's why he gave it up to let Dale have it, after he was gone. And then, of course, when his son was racing, and then when other people let me see here, what car am I gonna get out to not fuck this up and make shit fall? After Dale was killed, this was my favorite driver. Lean with it, Kyle Petty. Lean with it, Kyle Petty. The 45 Sprint PCS Dodge Intrepid for Petty Enterprises. That was supposed to be his son Adam's car if he didn't have his own that the year before. See, I told you I was going to fuck something up. Okay, who cares? This was the Kyle Petty car I grew up with, be cheering him for him, because when he had the Sprint cars, I didn't like him. Wasn't cheering. It wasn't my favorite yet. This was the car I grew up with in '03 and most of '04. Okay. Then he later switched to this paint scheme in 2005 when Dodge went from Intrepids to Chargers, and then Georgia Pacific abandoned him. You can't even count on your sponsors to be loyal to the driver I hated at the time named Jeff Gordon, the 24 DuPont Chevrolet Monte Carlo for Hendrick Motorsports. My father didn't like Jeff Gordon for whatever reason. I didn't like Jeff Gordon because he won a lot. I just didn't like him because, my dad didn't like him. So I was a kid. I was like, if my dad don't like him, neither do I. But yeah. That's the NASCAR I grew up with as a kid, long before your guys' time. Because back then, social media, with Cal living in the past and everything, did not exist in 2001, 2002, 2003. Oh, 2004 it started coming along, but still, back in those days, it wasn't that big of a... Even when it was starting up, it wasn't that big of a deal like it is now. But before 2004, none of that shit existed, and you didn't have to rely on that or modern technology to enjoy your favorite sports. For me, that was me with NASCAR, It was more fun to watch and easier to follow. And back then, you could actually take it seriously along with them. And they knew when to have fun and be silly when the time was right. Every once in a while during the broadcast, if there was a time where there was a segment where they could be silly and everything. Or if during a rain delay, it's all balls to the walls, gloves are off, where they can be silly all they want because we're not missing anything because it's raining. They're trying to get the track dry until they either call the race to push it to Monday or the next day or whatever, or if it's past halfway, that's it, we're fucking done. But nowadays, it's basically hard to keep up, and they can't take themselves seriously. I think you have shit like atrocious officiating, let me see here, no respect and driver etiquette in the garage between today's drivers. Like you saw at COTA last Sunday, Circuit of the Americas, that is, Indianapolis Road Course last summer, and I think it was in July, and the Charlotte Roval last October, It's like the drivers 20 years ago, even the ones that couldn't do shit and win a lot, like Kyle Petty, or ones who were one of the best drivers to win a championship, Junior, Mark Martin, Dale Sr., Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin. No. Would I say Mark Martin? No, I think I said Mark Martin. Ricky Rudd, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte. Let me see. Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte, Jeff Burton, Ward Burton, young Kurt Busch, Jimmy Spencer, Sterling Marlin. I would say Robbie Gordon, but that guy had anger issues, so not him. Kevin Harvick when he was with Richard Childress when Earnhardt died. Mike Skinner, John Andretti. Let me see, Kenny Schrader. Those were the guys that actually had respect for each other and raced each other clean. Now, if they were in a situation 20 years ago, like they were the modern NASCAR with COTA this last weekend, Charlotte Roval last October, and Indianapolis Road Course last July, no matter what rules package they're on, whether it's single file restarts like it was back then they raced, or this double file restart bullshit, or there's no green-white checker like back then, where it just ended under caution, if there came Washington or 2 laps to go, or if they had, or if like have double foul races and unlimited, it would not be a problem because they race each other with respect. Today, there's no respect. It's like they wait until like, on the road courses, like then a restart, but then 5-10 laps to go. I was driver etiquette and respect goes out the damn window to the point where they're just going to turn one, especially at the Indy road course where if they can go 7-8 wide, and they can act like they're in an EA NASCAR game on Thunder 03 and Thunder 04, especially where like in Madden, EA had a NASCAR a year ahead, so in Thunder 03, it's 2002, Thunder 04, it's 2003. Well, they're going to those, it's like they're in those games, where what I'm saying is, they do this shit in real life, which you normally can't do it. It's like what you do in a video game, which normally a video game proves it's not real life. Well, in an EA game, you can do that shit where turn the yellow flags off, disable the damage, and, turn off the yellow flags, disable the damage, and, no, I'm trying to think of 3 different terms. They turn off the yellow flags, disable the damage, and they turn off the yellow, let me try it this way. They turn off they turn off the yellow flags as well as the damage, and turn off the yellow flags, disable the damage, and no assist, and then they'll just go into turn one all full speed, 8-7 when just run over each other. That's exactly what the drivers in NASCAR today do on road courses. That's not named Sears Point or Watkins Glen. The only reason why they don't do it there is because they've raced there long enough. NASCAR's been there longer than the other road courses they got on the schedule today. But when they go to like places like Indianapolis, where it used to race on the oval for the Brickyard 400, even IndyCar races are not as good as some people who watch NASCAR, who on YouTube watch NASCAR that also watch IndyCar, are not as good. They go to Indianapolis road course, Circuit of the Americas, Charlotte Roval, whatever else other fucking road course. I can't even keep up with the tracks anymore. They just run over each other like, they're in an EA game with no cautions, no assists, and no damage. And you see, this is what I'm talking about. Back in the days I'm talking about when I was a kid, with Cal living in the past, trying to teach all the young kids about what he grew up with, kind of like me with my younger friends about old school NASCAR. You knew who drove what car. You knew who with all the teams. You knew all the sponsors. And it didn't matter if NASCAR was big or not big, not popular or not. And no matter if NASCAR was popular or not, wherever they went 36 times a year, the stands were always packed full and sold out no matter what. And you knew what track was coming up on the Winston Cup or even the Busch Series schedule. Not so much Craftsmanship, because I didn't give a shit about Craftsmanship. Nowadays, it's hard to keep up. You don't even know. You always forget which one is next. You always forget what track is next. And you forget, you can't even remember who drives what car, what number, what sponsor, what team, unless it's your favorite driver. Or if you still like to follow it closely nowadays, as you did back then, which, I'm never going to fucking do, Because, for example, you knew Earnhardt, what we're talking about, with the 3 GM Goodwin Service Plus Monte Carlo, which was a black number 3, and then later a white 29 with Harvick after Dale went to heaven and in Daytona on the last lap. You knew his son drove the 8 Budweiser Chevrolet for his, seniors DI team. His teammate Michael Waltrip drove the 15 Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Steve Park, those the 3rd DI car, the 1 Pennzoil Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Now for the other teams that back then you knew, Jeff Burton, a 99 Citgo Ford, or before that, Excite Batteries before I got there. His brother Ward was the 22 Caterpillar Dodge. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart were the 18 Interstate Batteries Pontiac and 20 Home Depot Pontiac. Robbie Gordon, after, Earnhardt died and Skinner and Lowe's left RCR, he was the 31 Singular Wireless Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the one who had the anger issues. Let me see here. Terry Labonte was the 5 Kellogg Chevrolet. Mark Martin was the Viagra. Before that, Valvoline Taurus. Well, we're on Valvoline. Then after Valvoline left Mark, it went to Johnny Benson in the 10 car. The Pontiac Grand Prix for MB2. Ken Schrader was the 36. M&M's Pontiac. See how easy that is? See, that's the NASCAR I grew up with, Saturday's cast. It was easy. Yeah, you knew. It was easier, so much easier back then. Like I just proved to you right now. And today, it's hard to keep up. And it's, atrocious officiating, not taking themselves seriously, and no driver respect etiquette in the garage. This is kind of what it, Cal, living in the past kind of reminded me of, where it doesn't matter the generation, older stuff is going to be better to older people. And even on TV shows, that's the case. He wanted him to go back to turn back the hands of time, teach Paris, teach London, and even, Derek about, how to change a tire. Well, we'll get to that part in a little bit. He wanted to teach them instead of using an iPhone or whatever, they used a landline, or instead of using a laptop, they used like a little typewriter thing, whatever, jingamajig, whatever the fuck it was called. Instead of using the ice maker in the fridge, you had an ice tray. All this stuff that I grew up with, or even a pager. See, that makes me feel old too, and I'm only 29 years old compared to Omar Gooding Jr. But then when he realized the flat tire, he was sucking ass at that. And then when, I don't know if it was Derek or London made that comment, he realized, he turned the Wi-Fi back on, he restored everything back to normal, and then he kind of was beating himself up saying, and I can feel that. He said, one of these days they're not going to need me anymore. Well, Omar, if you could tell your character TV counterpart this, it's something from another show jumping down from the Goldbergs on ABC, and this is what you can tell. You can have, maybe you can have, Norman or Himera write this in the script, or Cal. You can tell Cal this, Paris and London are still going to need you. I mean, still going to need Cal. He's always going to be their dad. But when they get older, then they grow up to be adults, if the show goes on for that long, which I hope it does, I mean, they're still going to be there. He's still going to be their dad, and they're still going to need him. But when they get older and grow into like grown men and women adults, they're not going to need them as much because they're adults and they can handle it on their own. The Goldbergs, showcased that in at least an episode. I think it was the Kensington installment, I believe. I can't fucking remember because I have a lot of catching up to do. But yeah, that's something that, Cal could even keep in mind if, the writers even think about writing it. I probably didn't because, they're already done filming it, but maybe for season 2, if we get season 2, we can they can revisit this topic and, talk about it there. So we'll just have to wait and see. This video is going to be long as fuck, so I don't know if if they're going to make it to this part. But yeah, that does it for the Saturday's comedy Friday night doubleheader for the Earnhardt Dillon / to Skinner installment. So with the tagging glitch striking us again, we're trying to figure it out more than it had us figured out this whole time. It only stumbled across twice. I'm pretty sure we'll overcome and we'll go past it again because we haven't figured out. We just kind of missed a previous tag where we ended up getting tail happy with that laugh attack standalone video with Cal's facial expression about the mess they made in the Earnhardt Dillon installment. But tomorrow we're finally catching up on, I think, what is it? The Jimmy Spencer, I finally got it right through Dale Jr. installments of A Million Little Things tomorrow. And then Sunday, we're going to do a bunked doubleheader. The Kenny Wallace through Jeff Gordon installments. Now, it just depends on the weather Monday and Tuesday. If it fucking rains all day and most of the day, let alone all day Monday or Tuesday, then here's the thing. If rain plays a factor, Monday we're going to do, what installment of That Girl Lele did we do? I can actually look this up on the Hulu on the TV, on the Man Cave TV. Go to my YouTube channel because we haven't watched That Girl Lele in a very long time. We're jumping from Disney Channel Nickelodeon here. I don't want to get off this thing because I don't want to stop this because the video is almost over anyway. So I might as well keep it going, even though it's going to be long. Holy shit. Check this shit out like Kevin goddamn LePage. That Girl Lele. 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 Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. What installment is it? What installment is it? Come on. Come on. Where did we leave off? Okay, we left off on Bobby Labonte. Okay. So, Monday we'll do the Mayfield to Tony Stewart installments of That Girl Lele. We were gonna do a doubleheader of that last night, but we were just too. I mean, we stayed home yesterday, so we were too tired, so we wanted to rest. So Monday we'll do it, and then Tuesday. Rain plays a big factor Tuesday and Monday. Then Lele Mayfield do Stewart, and then Tuesday I think Not Dead Yet. I gotta do one last check. Not dead yet. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Okay, so it's this shit. It's the same thing with A Million Little Things. We got Not Dead Yet. We'll have the Jimmy Spencer do Dale Jr. installment on Tuesday. And then we'll fire back in the game for real this time, for good. But if you don't see anything in relation to all this stuff on Monday and Tuesday and see something else instead, you'll know why. You'll know exactly what it is, and I'm going to spoil it for you. It's most likely going to be the season 2 premiere of Spring is in the Air. And at the same time, in the same video, the 2023 Sandy Ridge premiere. So I've gone on for this too fucking long. I need to get the fuck out of here. Have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Life will give you a lot of lows, but when you hit a high, enjoy it. It ain't for the weak. Goddamn, pace yourself. Bring your ass. Be you. You have to try harder to do less. You can't deport a dream. Sometimes the worst things in life lead to the best things. Always bet on the side of love. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sometimes you just got to be present. You never fail until you stop trying. It never pays to worry too much about things. It's never too late to turn the day around. Another day on time. Another day to shine. Sometimes you just got to flock yourself. Trust your instincts. Stand up for yourself and not back down to anyone. All for one. One for all. She love act different. You got to balance. Just when you think things will never be okay again, here comes a miracle that proves you way wrong. A connection can happen when you least expect it. Honesty is the best policy. Sometimes you just gotta dive in, follow your dreams. When you're all cheering together, every day is a win. Show up for the rest of your life. And there is no tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. And the last thing I'll say is tomorrow, tomorrow, technically later on today, if I get technically later on today, will be my April Fool's special. What is it going to be? You'll just have to wait and find out. But anyway, time to get the fuck out of here and go drink some Coke to refresh ourselves for the rest of the weekend going into early next week. So see you later, everyone.